Chapter 19, The One That Died? I asked. Lara told you? Not much. Just that he died and she was in town to help go through his things, help you adjust. I'm sorry he died, I murmured. I didn't add, especially at Christmas. Patrick might be a little Christmased out right now. He topped off his mug and poured more wine into mine. The toy store was my grandfather's idea. That's why I leased this place and bought the inventory cheaply from another store that went out of business. He always wanted to work in a toy store, play with the kids, talk about toys with them. He had these grand plans to build toy train tracks all over the store, so the kids could watch the trains go around the tracks. Kids adored watching model trains go between various buildings and tunnels. Many toy stores used that as a theme to bring families in. I wondered why Patrick had never done it. Honestly, he wanted to contrast with your store. Yours was dolls. This one was going to be a little more boy-focused. You opened 2 years ago, I said. He got his wish. Patrick took a big drink of wine. Kind of. He had a stroke a week from opening. Well, that sounded dreadful. And he got to see it open and would come sometimes and sit in here. He gulped down his wine. But he didn't get to build the train tracks or create the store he dreamed of, I breathed. Patrick shook his head. And I'm not really into trains, not like he was. And I'd planned on redecorating, but anyway, I'm hoping Mr. Toy Drop will help. I want to build something more than just a store. Kind of like yours. I nodded. It wasn't a bad idea. He just didn't know how to do it properly. Mr. Toy Drop was not the answer. But I wasn't sure it was my place to tell him that. I took a sip of wine instead. Can I ask you a question? He leaned forward, his elbows on his knees. Always. Lara says your store is very busy. That you have many online orders and people travel for hundreds of miles, part of their family Christmas traditions, to come to your store. And you had that right up in the New York Times. But are you actually turning a profit? After you pay rent and supplies and yourself and electrical and all that? Actually did. My bills were paid, I could reinvest profits into my store and still pay myself a good salary. But telling him that wouldn't help. It wasn't about the money. I loved what I did and built a career because of that. Money, though important because I needed to eat and pay Franklin and Lara, was secondary to me. Creating a life I was proud of was more important. Do you like toys? I asked. Like truly. I mean, you've said we're on opposite sides of the toy debate. You think they're disposable and I disagree. And my store speaks to that. To me, toys aren't disposable, they're precious. I like toys, he said. I truly do, or I wouldn't have opened the toy store just for Gramps. Just think kids don't really care about them, not anymore. I mean, look at all the unboxing videos. They just care about the potential of what's inside. Not the actual toy. That's why kids love unwrapping presents on Christmas morning so much. It's not about what they actually get, it's about seeing what's inside. I don't know. Things have changed since Gramps was a kid. Heck, since we were kids. They don't seem to love toys as much as they used to. I nodded. I knew what he was talking about. The unboxing YouTube videos had affected the toy industry, spawning the sale of blind boxes and toys that were nothing more than look what's inside, rather than actual toys. I don't sell that stuff, I said. Because I want my shoppers to want their toys, to love or have a use for them. I have this one brand of doll, sells well online, and I have a therapist who buys them for adults. They're dolls that can be customized and used to heal trauma. People use the dolls to have imaginary discussions with those people. They're too scared to have the conversations in real life or the person is dead. Some even destroy the dolls. This one woman sent me a video of her running over a doll, then backing up and doing it again before setting it on fire. I shrugged. She mailed me what was left of it, asking me to bury it for her. That's a bit out there, Patrick said with a frown. Though I guess it's not much different from people throwing darts at a picture of someone's face. I shrugged. She said it helped her. Helped her come to terms with her trauma. Did you bury it? Of course. There's power in that. Patrick topped off my mug and poured the rest of the wine into his. So you're basically selling voodoo dolls? I laughed. No. But okay, I guess kind of. Except for the part about it causing harm to the person it's representing. I took a sip of wine, the jammy flavor hitting my tongue. I hope it's not causing harm at least. Though there would be a market for that. He chuckled. Other than the trauma dolls, you sell things for kids to fall in love with? Mostly. I also sell miniatures for making rooms or doll houses. Adults love them. There's an enormous market online. Most big cities have a miniature or dollhouse museum. Wait, what? He turned to his computer, fingers flying across the keyboard. I have to check. No way, there totally is. I got into the wrong market. No one falls in love with Legos and Nerf guns. But they do, I said. You ever seen a kid build a Millennium Falcon? Then play with Luke and Han pretending they're fighting Darth Vader? That's love. Or walking around with a Nerf gun in their pocket, pretending to defend their family from an alien invasion? That's love. Not to all. No, not to all, I said. And I know some of the kids purchasing the outfits for the Fashion Dream dolls just want the hunt for the exclusives. They'll brag about it to their friends, make their friends jealous, and then forget about it. I'm not that blind. See, disposable, he said. Patrick was getting a little buzzed, starting to slur a bit. But not to all, I conceded. And maybe that love is transitory, but it's still real. Like my relationship with Luke's father. Maybe there were parallels I didn't want to think about. Didn't you ever love a stuffed animal? I asked. He leaned back and thought. I think there was one. It was this koala bear I named Ratty. Ratty. Yeah, I think it was after a character on a TV show. He leaned forward thinking. But I couldn't sleep without that thing. And I remember my mom tucking him next to me when I was homesick from school. And did it make you feel better? I asked. Patrick started to shake his head, then stopped. He did, he said slowly. I'd forgotten. God, I loved that koala. He finished the wine in his mug. I remember getting into the car. I haven't thought about this in years. But I didn't have him and made my mom go in and get him. I thought something bad. I don't know. Can't describe it. You just had to have him, I filled in, enjoying the light of memory in Patrick's eyes. My heart gave a thump of appreciation. Your koala protected you and you protected him. And that's what I try to give at my store. Not just dolls, but an entire experience. The imagination, the whimsy, the love. He nodded slowly. Hey, I'm kind of getting it. And people will pay a bit more for the experience. And it doesn't take much. Just add some displays. Let the kids touch the toys. You're on the right track with Mr. Playhand, I mean. He laughed, a huge guffaw. Hey, Mr. Toy Drop is a terrible name. I get it. I took a bit gulp of wine, finishing my glass before saying, if I may. Your store shouldn't look like a storage room. He groaned. Yeah, I know. That was a mistake. I was trying to make it easier for parents just to find what they needed and grab it and go. I figured my store would be for the busy parents or the impulse purchasers. He rubbed the back of his neck. But I see your point. I don't know. Might be too late. I'm pretty deep in the hole. Oh, come on, I said, the wine talking for me. The Fashion Dream dolls must be selling well. There wasn't much sarcasm there, nope, not from me. He snorted. They are. And I have so many of them, got a great deal. But you're right, I should have said something to you before I started selling them. I should just sell them to you for what I paid. Now you're being a poor salesman, I said. You should offer them to me for what you paid for them and 10% more. But you can sell whatever you want. I shouldn't have gotten so upset. We smiled at each other and I suddenly felt much lighter, much more at peace. And liking this rival toy store owner a lot more than I had. A glance at my phone told me it was after 10. I should let you get some sleep, I said, standing up. Let me know if you want some help with anything here. You're going to have to find your thing, but this store could be really amazing. Patrick walked me out between the dark aisles and gave me that sideways grin. Long as I don't sell dolls. There's no point, he said before I could protest. You have the market cornered on those. Thank you for the pizza and the talk. Ichabod is doing good, by the way, he said. I've kept that damn cat inside for a bunch of days now. Well, that's good. I missed Ichabod more than I thought I would, but was happy he had a home and wouldn't freeze to death in the snow. He unlocked the door for me and I stepped outside. It was cold, but the sky was clear, the stars sparkling. My breath puffed out into the night air. If you ever want to come and visit him, just text. Laura knows the way. I will, I said. And let me know if you want to talk more about your toy store. God, now I was repeating myself. Owning one is hard. It is, he confirmed, looking down at the ground. He looked so sad I impulsively gave him a quick hug. It'll be okay, I said. You'll get through this. He clung, his arms wrapped around me, a combination of gratitude and also need. He pressed his chin into my head, heaving a deep breath. When I pulled back, there were tears in his eyes. I'm sorry, he said. It's been a terrible few months. The snow floated between us, coating our shoulders, getting caught on our eyelashes. I'm so sorry your grandfather's dream isn't how he wanted it, I said. He must have been an amazing man. I'd sensed Lara's loss too, in her need for something to do, and that sense of being lost. He'd tell me not to worry so much, he snickered. Money comes and goes, that's normal. Anyway, sorry to break down on you. Thanks for the pizza and the talk. Anytime, I said. And meant it. He leaned over and kissed my cheek, and somehow I turned my head so our lips brushed. The kiss deepened, sweet but enough to send a zing through my body to coil in my belly. God, what was I doing? Merry Christmas, I said, pulling away and feeling foolish. I got into my car. Patrick stood on the snowy sidewalk in front of his store and watched me drive away. Merry Christmas? What kind of response was that? And why had I kissed him? Must have been the wine and all the Christmasness. I was really starting to hate this season. It made us do stupid things.